Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to summarize a message of hope from Dave Ramsey. If you're not quite sure who Dave Ramsey is, he's a radio host. He's a guy who's built a massive business revolved around helping people with their money problems. Essentially, Dave hosted an hour-long show last week, and he plans to have his Ramsey personalities produce more over the next couple days, bringing hope and helping others with practical ideas of just how to handle their finances during this economically challenging time so far. Rather than listen to the whole thing in its entirety, here are the main points alongside Dave Ramsey personalities Ken Coleman and Cruze. First, he just kind of addressed the hard time in culture right now and how fear and everyone is just scared and wherever you fit in that piece. He walked people through Y2K, 9/11, the different types of flus, the financial crash of 2008. He then went on to mention a couple quotes, and two that really stood out to me. The first one is that fear is more contagious than a virus. Just kind of going along with that whole idea of it's all over the media and on TV, and just kind of telling us, obviously it is a serious matter, but a lot of times we can kind of get caught up in what might be going on the news and just what we're reading and watching. He went on to share a quote from Laffer that says, "No one makes good decisions when you're panicked or drunk." And you know what he means by that is it's just that whole idea that there's a lot of fear out there, and he's reminding us not to sell our stocks, not to sell that, not to panic, because obviously based on that quote, it's not really a good decision when you're panicked. And then there were just a couple other really key things that were mentioned throughout this talk. I'll just kind of mention a few. I wrote them down. When in crisis, facts are your friends, so just making sure you have the facts. Being a light with all this uncertainty. So, you know, when you're in conversations with people, just trying to, you know, have a little optimism and think about some of the good things. You know, obviously there's a lot of bad things going on, but there are some good things. So looking at those. The jobs crisis, obviously that's a major thing where, you know, people have been losing their jobs. The latest jobs report was really scary for a lot of people, and so along with that comes a money crisis, clearly. So just keeping those things in mind. And the other really big thing that I took note on is just controlling what you can control. If you can tell, there really were a lot of good things that were mentioned here, and I'm just giving you a brief summary. I'll let you kind of think about those and process them yourself. He really broke it down and spent some time really with those individuals who are absolutely in crisis, lost their job, and he went over those 4 walls of budgeting. So when Dave talks about the 4 walls of budgeting, he's really meaning stop everything else that you're doing, buy food for your families, make sure the lights, your water, utilities are paid for, pay your mortgage, and make sure you can transport or take care of your transportation. Take care of your household first. If you can't already tell that I am a Dave Ramsey guy, I really do like a lot of what he says. There are a couple things that I always maybe can't quite agree with, but he would tell me just to shut up probably. But anyway, there was another, in closing, there was another couple really good things that Dave had to mention. And another quote, I know I'm throwing a lot of quotes at you, but it was really powerful. And it said, "No one gets hurt on a roller coaster ride unless they jump off, so ride it. Stay with the stock market," is what he's saying. Don't sell out, don't be afraid, stay with the stock market. He also wanted to reassure you that he doesn't think that America is just not gonna exist in the next couple months, that it will battle back. Who knows how long it's actually going to take. And he did mention too, there are bargains to be had out there. Who knows what's going to happen with real estate over the next couple months. People are going to be wanting to sell things. So if you've had that, you know, that item or thing that you've been wanting, you might be able to get it at discount, which is kind of a nice thing to think about if you do have some cash on the side. interest rates are so low right now, so maybe even refinancing or looking into a refinance might not be a bad idea at this point. Dave emphasized 3 last things in his message of hope, and that first thing is just to continue to look at your budget, re-examine it. I know it's not something that everyone loves to do, but that was one thing. He also had a nice message to leaders, and the big thing was, a lot of leaders are in a pinch right now, and it might be a time where you have to pivot. He used that word pivot because I think that was a nice way of saying you can just re-examine your organization and try to do what matters, try to help people, but you're also going to have to make changes in the way you run the company, and maybe that pivot might actually end up being something you should have done a long time ago with your company. A message of hope finished with 3 things, and they were 3 things that you can control. The 3 things that you can control are your attitude, you can control your money, and you can control your opportunities. So I'm not going to go into those 3 things, but if you think about them, they really are so true because they are things that you have the mindset to control. I hope you did enjoy that. I don't want to get any more long-winded than that. I want to call it a wraps. I am going to link Dave Ramsey's A Message of Hope in the description, and I'll also leave the dates and times for the future messages to come. I think there's 6 or 7 that are going to follow. And I just encourage you to check those out because especially if you are going through some tougher times, it's just a nice reminder to think about some other things along the way. If you like more videos like this, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember, it's that simple.